Was Gilbert Burns outclassed by Sean Brady? Is Natalia Silva the future of women's MMA? This is Fighting with Friends. UFC Fight Night took place on Saturday morning it was Sunday morning at 2 a.m. South African time. With me recapping the card today, as always, I have, of course, the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, Brother Gaia. How you
Yo, yo,
doing,
yo,
Brother
yo,
Gaia?
yo. All good, all good, all good. Thank you for having me. Amped,
Away,
always.
away, always happy to see you, bruh. And speaking of happy to see, ladies and gentlemen, this next man is undefeated as a father. You might know him as Mr. Brazil around here. We know him as George Jefferson. Ladies and gentlemen, the daddest man on the planet. It's, of course, Jedi Knight. How you doing, Jedi?
Good, thanks. Happy to be back for another episode of this American kickboxing.
American kickboxing indeed. So yeah, let's jump straight into it, boys. Of course, the main event where we saw Gilbert Burns unfortunately toppling to Sean Brady. Thought Sean Brady wrestled well as we predicted. Gilbert Burns's takedown defense in wrestling was quite impressive on the night.
Mhm.
So yeah, brother Gaia, with a bit more detailed analysis here. How did you
Yeah.
see this one playing out?
Well, I'll start off by saying I said Sean Brady over 5 rounds. I thought he would get it done over the 5 rounds. I felt that he was the more youthful fighter. He had a bit more of a
Mm.
point to prove. Gilbert Burns has been to the top, even though he hasn't got the title. He has tasted what it's like to be at the pinnacle almost. Where Sean Brady hasn't made that title run yet, and this is his first time. So I thought that maybe that would be a big role or big factor in terms of determination from Sean Brady's side. I know I was chatting to you while watching the fight, and I was saying it's quite competitive 2-2 going into the first round. But having more time to think about it and almost reflect on what we were watching, I thought Sean Brady was pretty much the fighter that dominated the. It's dominant, but I
Mm.
thought he edged each round for me. If I thought about it more without a biased lens, I thought Sean Brady was the one that came out on top each round. He landed more takedowns, 7 of 17 takedowns. He also completely outstruck Gilbert Burns throughout the whole fight. Although they weren't damaging shots, they were peppering enough to get Gilbert Burns to not necessarily utilize or implement his game plan. It got to the point that Gilbert was just looking for that one shot blow each round because he couldn't initiate any sort of wrestling. He had one takedown in the first round, and then after that, he couldn't really initiate any offensive wrestling. So Brady cancelled or counted each of it. And then also, like I said, they had the upper hand with the striking advantage. Every time he moved forward, he threw about 4 or 5 shots, getting Gilbert Burns to back up and then, shoot for the takedown and then make it a wrestling exchanging game. And I felt that Sean Brady, as the rounds went on, felt a bit more confident in terms of being able to be powerful enough to wrestle with Gilbert Burns. And I think being able to outstrike Burns and also nullify Burns' wrestling and meant that Sean Brady was going to win the fight, and that's how it played out. He held up with his gas tank as well, so not completely as impressed with the overall performance, but it was a good performance nonetheless. He beat someone that was we considered as one of the elite of the division, so we have to give the man his flowers.
Yeah. I think yeah, maybe just last week we were saying Gilbert Burns is sort of this gatekeeper for the top five in the division, and you've got to
Mm.
beat him to kind of hope to have any kind of future in this division. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely agree with that, brother Gaia. Jedi Knight, what's your thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, a little sad to see Gilbert losing. It's always been a fun guy to watch. Um,
Mm.
I think Brady fought a fantastic Brady kind of fight. I mean, it was a little
Yeah.
boring and it was
Mm.
competitive, but boring competitive, and
Mm.
very much how most of Brady's fights go. And it kind of reminds me of when Volkanovski first came
Mm.
and was climbing the ranks in the featherweight.
Yeah.
His style was very much the same, just like high pressure, overwhelming, grappling,
Mm.
and like takedowns, ground and pound kind of thing. Which then
Yeah.
later on he became more of a kickboxer when he joined the City Slicker boxing gym.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Brady overall for me just looked fitter, and
Yeah.
Gilbert from the before the fight even started, like walking out and was standing there. To me, he looked a bit deflated already, bro. He looked
Mm.
like he was
Mm.
already tired, and it showed for me. He looked slower than the or less aggressive also in the Gilbert that we used to see. And I
Mm.
think only in like the third or the fourth round he started coming around and fighting.
Yeah.
Um, but that's off to Brady, and it's kind of like we said in the preview. It's kind of like apples for apples, you know what I mean? It's like the
Yeah.
same kind of falling out for the other guy. It's like a newer version.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, shame for Gilbert, and I think Brady's got a good argument to call out the top five guy now. I think what would be
Yeah.
nice is Ian Machado and Tom Brady fight would be
Sean Brady.
great. Oh, Stuart Brady
Mm.
would be a great fight because obviously
Yeah.
one
Agreed.
superstar, one's gonna become a superstar, and the one's gonna be following. So
Mm.
it would be good to see the
Mm.
two of them go. And then for Burns, I would love to see Burns and what's that guy? You suck. What's his name?
Colby
Colby.
Covington.
Covington. Mm.
Yeah.
Burns and the Covington fight would be lekker.
That would be nice. Yo.
But yeah, for the talents going forward, I think Ian Machado and Brady fight would be great to make
Yeah.
for me
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I
yeah,
completely
hats off to
agree.
him. Well done.
Burns also looked very different, man. Like he didn't.
He's pretty
There was no.
slow.
There was no flow state that he normally gets. You know what I mean? Where
Mm.
he's like switching between takedowns and strikes so
Yeah,
like
nah,
effortlessly. And I thought he just looked.
yeah.
He looked like
He
old Gilbert
looked,
Burns.
bro. He looked like a guy that came for a 2 year layoff. To me, in
Yeah.
all honesty,
Yeah.
he looked like a guy that hasn't fought for a while, and was a bit gun shy.
Mm.
Mm.
I
Yeah, I
agree.
think that's a fair point. So just two questions from me regarding this fight. We kind of came into this fight saying that Brady's striking is absolute trash.
Mm.
Ross, I'm gonna go to you here. Has your opinion changed in this regard at all after this fight?
Not really. It hasn't changed, to be quite honest. I thought the striking that Sean Brady uses, is not necessarily to finish people. If you look at it, it's more to get into that from the outside into the inside range, and then from there, so
Yeah,
you look to push
yeah.
you up against the cage, look for takedowns.
Bro,
Gilbert,
it's very
Gilbert's
overwhelming. He's
it's
just
an
trying to make
overwhelming.
you not get off anything. That's his main
Yes,
thing. He's just trying
disrupt,
to,
disrupt.
yeah,
He disrupts you
basically.
all the time. And if you think
Mm.
about Sean Brady's, whenever he has hurt someone in the past, it's come from a defensive leg check hook. He doesn't necessarily
Mm.
hurt people going forward. It's more about, like I just said now, he push
Mm.
you up to the point where
Same
he's
in
in his
the
world.
Calvin fight. He just basically overwhelmed Calvin and wrestled
That's
him.
it.
It was
Yeah.
basically the same like this Gilbert Burns fight. It was the same
Same
thing.
thing.
Exactly the
Yeah.
same.
It
Mm.
may it may
Mm.
it may be it may be something that could be effective, but I mean I don't
It
know if it's gonna be that effective going against the
threw
elite of the welterweight.
against the higher guys. Yeah.
I
Dude,
don't
like I
think
say,
so.
it looks to me, it reminded me of Volkanovski when he just came in, bro. It was like the
Mm,
same fighting style. He looked like the same guy.
yeah.
Not saying that
Yeah.
Tom Brady's going to become an awesome kickboxer, but I'm just saying the
Yeah.
overwhelming high pressure
Yeah.
grappling, just like not giving you a chance to get anything going style, which
Mm,
was how Volkanovski fought when he first came.
yeah.
It was like that.
It can
Mm.
be a weapon if used like, I mean he does use it
Mm,
correctly, but I just think if you take that style that Sean Brady uses and you compare it up against the top five of the welterweight, you
mm.
don't really see him winning,
Gonna
hey?
be difficult. But I mean,
Yeah.
dude, he looked like he put on a super pace. That was the
Mm,
main takeaway.
mm,
Was like, even though you could
yeah.
see he was tired and he was wearing it, he just didn't stop, which was
Yeah.
very cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
for
Definitely.
me, I think even Ian Gary would be a good fight.
Agreed.
Mm.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And then just
Yeah.
final question on Sean Brady before we keep it moving is
Yes.
he did take quite a few heavy shots in the fight against Burns. So can we kind of lay any talks to rest of Sean not having a chin after being finished by Bilal? Would that be a fair comment to make, Jedi?
Interesting actually. Yeah.
I don't think so, bro. He looked quite tough to me, but Gilbert
Yeah.
did catch him a few times. Not that Gilbert is also a elite striker, but he can box. You know what I mean?
He can put you
It's
out.
not like he's not a striker, but he can exactly that. He can knock you out. Um, I think I think what's his name? Sean.
Sean Brady.
Sean Brady looked very fit and strong. I think it would take
Mm.
a lot to knock him out. See, I think that man's
Conditioned.
neck is
He's
yeah,
conditioned well. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
For
But then
Got
would
sure.
that
that
neck
mean?
power.
Would that mean that we should give more credit to Bilal, or did Sean Brady have a bit of a tough cut?
No, I just
Maybe.
think it's like,
You
bro,
can't.
all of that you can't say because like any shot
Yeah.
that you don't see, we know can put you out. Doesn't have to be a doesn't have to be a hard. Just
Super
needs to be
Yeah.
true.
on the button, and you just must
Yeah.
be unaware of it coming. It will put you out,
Yeah.
bro. So
We'll put you out there.
it's neither here
Yeah,
nor
I'm not.
there for
I'm
me.
not prepared to give Bilal any props in that regard. I mean, look, his record does speak for itself, guys. I'm not being unfair towards the man
Yeah.
here. His
Yeah.
record does speak for itself. So yeah, I guess inconclusive still.
Mm.
But yeah, gents, I think let's keep it moving, and
Okay.
that of course means we'll go to the women's flyweight division where we saw baby girl Natalia Silva completely dominate Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
Some scary moments in the fight, but
Mm.
Natalia looked very, very good. Very good.
Mm.
And would it be a fair statement to say that she is 1000% going to be the champion of this division in the future? Ross?
Um,
Yo, it's tough to say. Oh,
for
Ross.
the flyweight division, eh, I, I would love to see her, if she can get past Rose Namajunas next. Then I would maybe agree with you there. I think she's got the
I
style
don't. I
to
think. I think she's gonna get Macy Barber next. I think Rose is gonna fight Aaron Blanchfield.
Blanchfield. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably. Rose she won the last fight, if I'm not mistaken.
because yeah,
Um,
she won against.
Forgot who the name
Who's
was
she
now.
fight now again? She won
But
against Tracy Cortez. Was it Cortez?
yes,
No,
yes,
that's
yes,
too
yes,
low
yes, yes,
down.
yes.
Well, yeah,
No, she
and I
fought Tracy
think that
Cortez.
Manon Freerot is waiting for the winner of Grosso and
Shevchenko. Yeah,
Shevchenko. Yeah, exactly.
indeed.
So she's just like
Um,
already guaranteed to fight the winner of the title fight.
and she'll get Macy. I think she beats Macy, to
So
be honest. I think
Macy
Natalia will.
Barber, I
I
think,
think
is
Macy,
the next one.
because Macy's biggest strength is she's got very much of the short hooks, but she utilizes a lot of grappling and a high pace. But I think Natalia is very difficult to take down, and she's proved that also against someone
Sure.
who arguably is stronger than her, and Jessica couldn't even
Mm,
take her down.
I
And
think they said
yeah, man.
90% takedown defense.
yes, it's very high. It's very very
Yeah.
high, and
And
also
speed and
I was just gonna
awareness
say, yeah,
was, it was on point. She knew exactly when Andrade is gonna try and close on her.
yeah,
She had
yeah,
her answer for it. Different kind of answers for when Andrade is close to her.
yeah,
That
yeah.
front leg side kick
Money.
was yeah, it was the main it was the main thing, and just yeah, she looked almost like not Shevchenko. What's the other? Joanna, yeah, Jacek,
The
but not
Jacek.
as obviously not as fast and as good, but similar like basis, I could say.
Similar basis. What I will say, the biggest takeaway for me from that fight for Natalia is not necessarily what she's done right, because we knew that that's how she's going to fight, and we all said she was going to win that way, three round decision. But what I found most impressive about her is when she did get clipped by Jessica with that left hook, she took it and she stood there and
Mm.
she kept on moving. She wasn't sort of on skates at all in the fight, even though she was moving from side to side. But when she did get hit, I was very very impressed by our ability to be conditioned enough to not actually take the damage that much. Because that kind of shot from Jessica puts women out. You've seen it. She knocks women
Yeah.
out quick, fast with that kind of moves. And Natalia took Jessica's best shots and gave it back tenfold, bro. So she even rocked Jessica with her left hook. Bang! I was like, whoa, look at this. So Natalia, I agree with 80 in the point of 1000%. I don't know being a champion, but I think she's definitely for me in the running for title shots.
Yeah, because dude, that the top besides Macy Barber,
Mm.
yeah, besides Macy Barber, the top 5 or 6 women is very, very good. That's very close. It can go either way for any one of those top 5, in my opinion. Like nobody, I know Grosso's beat Shevchenko twice in a row now, and kind of says that she's got a number. So I don't know why they're doing this third fight. It's a bit dumb.
Because the second fight wasn't the clear winner; it was a draw. And if you watch it back, Shevchenko for me
Oh, yeah.
actually did a little bit more, but it was a majority draw. So that's what they do in the third fight.
Oh, okay.
But I think Manon Ferriot is definitely a name to watch out for in that division. She's
Just
beast,
because she's big.
and she might be the one that, in terms of a good matchmaking fight, I think Manon and Natalia would be a good fight. Might just end up being a kickboxing fight, but I mean it would be a hella kickboxing fight for sure.
And then the other side of the coin, of course, would be what happens now for Jessica Andrade, Brother Gaia.
The thing about Jessica is that she's still very dangerous. She's very dangerous in this division, and she's active in 2 weights. She's active in the strawweight and the flyweight. So, and she's highly ranked in both divisions. So I think Jessica, for some reason, the UFC keeps her around because she's just that dangerous, and she's a bad matchup for a lot of the women in a lot of the divisions. What's next for her? I don't know if she should stay in the flyweight. Just looking at the rankings, I think she might struggle in both rankings, to be quite honest, in terms of going for the title. I honestly can't answer the question of who she would get next or what the UFC will do for her. She wasn't 2-fight win streak coming into this fight, so that means she won't get cut, of course. But who does she get next? I'm not entirely sure there. Like I said, I think Blanchfield doesn't have a fight. Farina Jandarobo just won the last one. Jessica just lost, so she's going to have to probably go down. Probably get Amanda Lemos in the strawweight division. That's probably what I think she gets next.
Yeah, possible. Jedi Knight, your thoughts here, please.
Yeah, for me, for Jessica Andrade, I feel like if she really, really feels that she wants to make another run at it, it must be at the division below this, and really work on the division below.
Strawweight low.
The division below. She just lost in the, what's this division called? She lost in the flyweight. I'm saying she needs to go down to strawweight again.
Andrade.
Well, yeah, we are.
She's already so big, bro. For this, even for the flyweight division, she's still.
I didn't think she looked that big. I think
looked at her, bro. She was thick, bro.
Dude, I think Silva looked very good condition. But anyway, I think she needs to work on conditioning and going down, or she needs to go back to Brazil and open up a couple of Zumba classes and maybe like a nightclub. Maybe like a nightclub. I feel like she can help the communities in Brazil.
Absolutely. I mean, hard to argue with that. Brother Guy, you with us? I think Brother Guy might be having a few technical problems. But yeah, Jedi Knight, any final thoughts with these 2 ladies?
Yeah, no, I think we covered it today. I think Natalia gets, for me, Macy Barber. Jessica Andrade just looked like the experience is catching up with her. And I feel like if she goes down a weight, I can see her smashing some of the girls there. Like Rodriguez, Mackenzie Dern, Ribas, all of those. I feel like she can still smash them.
I think she beat Mackenzie Dern already, hasn't she?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like 3-round fights against them, I feel like Andrade can smash them in a 3-round fight. 5-round fight, she didn't look so fit for me. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like I say, that's why she's got to work on conditioning and being fit for that weight division. But I would rather go and open up a nightclub in Brazil.
Mm.
There's a future in it. You say there's more of a future in
Exactly.
it for her than
Yeah.
fighting. That's
Yeah.
It might be harsh, but could be true. We are not the ones to judge. So, brother Gaia, any final thoughts here?
Um, yeah, I think we're definitely going to see Natalia make a run at the title of flyweight for sure. Jessica, like I said earlier, she is active in both weight classes in the UFC right now. I think for Jessica Andrade, she's going to stay being the gatekeeper for that top five, either weight, because she does have the blueprint to whereby if you can get past Jessica Andrade, you can certainly go and challenge for the top five. Because personally, I think Jessica smokes everyone else in both divisions underneath the top, below the top five. But then when she enters the top five, I think she struggles there. And like you were saying, I think it could just be that she's been doing it for a while. The age could be getting to her, and I think she's probably going to have to just be that gatekeeper for now because she's lost to all the other ladies that are now champions or also title contenders.
I'm inclined to agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Okay, boys. In that case, let us keep it moving, and this time we are going to the men's lightweight division, where we saw Steve Garcia. Sorry, featherweight division, where we saw Steve
Mhm.
Garcia defeat Carl Nelson, and this was, of course, a first round TKO. True to form, the
Mhm.
Mean Machine, another first round finish. Carl Nelson, of course, did miss weight in this fight. So yeah, some might say he got his ass kicked deservedly. Shouldn't be missing weight, buddy. But anyway, Jedi Knight, did you manage to see this fight?
Nah, negative. I didn't watch this. I knew that Kyler Nelson is gonna lose.
We were betting for Kayla Nelson a few days ago, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Brother Guy, as far as the in-depth analysis here,
Mhm.
what can you tell us?
I thought the fight. I thought what you just mentioned now was a big factor for me because I've seen Carl Nelson before, and I've seen him take some shots. And when he's fit and conditioned really well, he's a tough guy to put away. I've seen him come back from worse situations and actually win the fight. So that's not to take away from Steve Garcia's win. I thought Steve fought the perfect fight. He was better in the boxing exchanges. He looked to be a bit of the fresher fighter, but a lot fresher of the fighter. And I think just overall theme for the fight was that when you have a bad weight cut and you have a bad camp, it shows in the fight, and that's what we saw. Carl Nelson didn't show up when he should have showed up and got wiped out. And I think that's just a fair result for me. In terms of the future for both these gentlemen, I think for Steve Garcia, he's been in the game a little bit longer than Carl, so I think for Steve Garcia, just maybe reaching out for a top 15 guy next, so he can actually start climbing the ranks. And for Carl Nelson, he's really outside of the top 15, so all he can do is just reset himself and maybe get a bit of a dietitian in there so he can have a better weight cut and show up to his
Mm,
fights with a little bit more boomer. So yeah,
fair
that's my
point.
take.
Fair. You mentioned Steve Garcia should look for a top 15 rank. Would you like to see him fight
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
top 15? So I'm
Uh,
thinking probably Chikadze down to Edson Barbosa.
um, look, Danish maybe Dan Ige could be a good fight for him.
Mm,
Possibly Bryce Mitchell. Um, it's about Bosa, not really. I mean, it's about Bosa is also sort of like he has been there already. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't really make anything good for Steve Garcia's career to fight someone that's on his way out. So I think maybe going for Dan Ige or Bryce Mitchell would be a good fight for him. A good call out there.
Man, I love Arkansas.
Yeah, he's got to get one of those guys.
All right, fair enough. Jedi, any comment here
Arkansas.
regarding Steve Garcia and Carl Nelson?
Nah, pass.
Hard pass, like it. All right. in that case, we'll keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen, and that means that we are now going to the bantamweight division, where we saw Cody Durden submit Matt Schnell.
Now,
This was of course a first round.
Performance of the night.
No, second round submission. Second round submission.
second round.
So Cody Durden not only choking Matt Schnell into submission, but also choking him into retirement. Unfortunately, we of
I'm
course
actually
at the
quite happy.
CBS Reports wish Matt Schnell all the best with his future endeavors. Brother Gaia, you mentioned to me that Matt Schnell made a rookie mistake in this fight that led up to the finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he
Could
pretty
you tell
much
us a
just
bit?
when he shot for the takedown, which came by the way because he was losing in the strike and exchanges. Matt Schnell, what can I say? I was wishing him the best for the guy, to be quite honest, because like I said, I watched him come into the UFC, watched him through the tough house. I was like, I hope this guy actually performs really well because he does have something there. He's got some kind of base that he can work from, but from some reason, just not having a good run in the UFC, taking losses after wins on a consistent basis, meant that he was stifling his growth. And I'm not too sure what he was like in his camp and what's happening behind closed doors. But coming into this fight, once he started losing in the striking exchanges, you could see Matt starting to try and initiate grappling. And when he went for a takedown, he kind of left his neck in the position to get snatched up a bit too long for me. And what happened there was because the takedown didn't come from I'm going to be offensive and I'm going to put this guy down and I'm going to work my way into some kind of submission. The takedown came from I don't want to take any more damage on the feet, and that's what happened. He went for the takedown and left his neck there for the taking, and Cody just sunk it in nicely and got the choke. Cody's part, on the other hand, I thought he came in quite aggressive. Like I said, I thought Matt was going to win, but it's only because I felt like I watched Matt a little bit more, and I thought his style could be quite of a puzzle. But Cody was durable, and Cody, in fact, initiated a little bit more of the striking. I thought when he landed, you could see Matt didn't like it, and that's eventually what led Matt to initiate grappling. And Cody just, I thought he fought a really good fight. It's like he wanted Matt to shoot on him and sunk in the guillotine. So yeah, good performance from Cody's side, and like you said earlier, wishing Matt a really good retirement. And I thought it was the best decision for him to make that retirement as well because he was really struggling to make a run in the UFC. And also, mind you, like he fought, he's actually a flyweight. He put on weight to take this fight, and you could see that Cody was the bigger guy, and that's probably why every time when Cody did land, you could see the stark difference between who was wearing worse for wear when the strikes did land. So a smart decision from Matt because he was struggling in flyweight, and if you couldn't get past a guy who's unranked in bantamweight, he's definitely not going to get anywhere else. So you made the right decision.
Fair point. Fair point. Cody Durden, of course, taking this fight on 4 days' notice. So quite an impressive victory. So what do you see next for Cody Durden? Does he challenge a top 15 opponent, or should he still continue to fight unranked guys at this time?
And top 15 bantamweight. Maybe I don't know. The top 15 bantamweight guys are really good. They're all really good, and I don't know much about Cody Durden, to be quite honest, to sort of match him up with any of the guys in the top 15. So maybe another unranked gentleman, and then after that, if he wins, he could get some of the top 15 guys. In the top 15, maybe Dominic Cruz or Jonathan Martinez.
Yeah, I was thinking
I don't
Dominic
know.
Cruz hasn't fought in a while, eh? So
yes, since he lost to Marlon Vera.
It's about time somebody asked him about why he's still in the top 15.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ask him what's going on here, bro.
I think if Cody's smart and making a shot for Dominic would be good for his stock in the UFC.
Definitely. Jedi Knight, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, it was very surprising to see him win. So that's off to him. And yeah, I look forward to seeing him fight again. If he does get a top 15 guy, yeah, I mean, Dominic Cruz hasn't fought in a while, but I think he's retired now.
Yeah, either he has to retire or he has to fight somebody. He's got about a month
or
left.
retire.
It's pretty much that at the moment, yeah. All right, boys. let's keep it moving then. And this is our final fight that we're going to cover for this episode. And that, of course, was the American Trevor Peak taking on the Israeli Yanal Ashmouz, who ended up
Asmus
getting it
Bush.
done. Ashmouz obviously getting it done there. Third round, unanimous decision.
Yeah.
Some people saying controversially. I'd like to get your thoughts there, brother guy. You think it was a fair decision, or any
Mm.
controversy to be spoken about? Yeah.
Um, look, statistically, it's I can see why they would make say it's controversial. The fight was pretty even. It's very tough to kind of split it to who would really be the one that was significantly the dominant guy. I just think maybe as Moose Bush, just because his wrestling game was a little bit something that added into the fight. Um, that's probably why they gave it to him. To be honest, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because I do think that Anal is the better fighter. I think his grappling and his striking is a little bit more polished. Um, the fight was just so even. It was just so even, and I can understand why it would be controversial. But it's one of those things that either guy could make a very good argument to see who was actually the one that won the fight. I just think that because Moose Bush has gotten the takedown and he's gotten the submission almost there. I think that's probably why they led it towards him. And also because he's undefeated in the UFC right now, they probably want to give it to him to like who's got the better future. Probably Yanala Moose. That's probably why they took it towards him. But if they run that fight back, it could go either way again. That's one of those things. That's how I look at it.
Hmm. Jedi Knight, any thoughts on this fight?
No, I didn't watch the fight. Sorry, guys. No
Not a
opinion
problem, bro.
there.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, I thought it was an entertaining fight. Both of them were kind of swinging for the fences at times, not really connecting too much. I
Yeah,
thought Asmush timed his takedowns very well,
yeah.
catching Trevor Peak as he was swinging. And yeah, for me also, I think the decision was quite clear. So I'm not really too sure about where the controversy comes from. But
Hmm.
yeah, opinions are opinions, and
That's
everyone's
the
got
thing.
one.
Yeah.
They say.
And I mean,
Um,
and the judges are also just but humans. You know what I mean? They're not like ex fighters or anything like that. It's just oaks that are watching it with the criteria in hand. You know that they have to look out for. And
yeah.
they're not sitting there where they're getting all these stats that we get on screen as like on the pulse and it's as accurate as what you would like it to be. So they're also just having to watch, live in front of their eyes. Um,
Yeah.
difficult to. At the end of the day, don't leave it in the hands of judges. Win your fights.
Yeah. Fair point. Fair point. Okay, guys. Any final thoughts on this card and on the UFC as a whole? Yeah.
You want to go, Jedi?
Jedi, any final thoughts on the card or the UFC in general?
Yeah, it was a good card. It was alright, but I think the one championship was the highlight of the weekend, other than the Booker.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we look forward
definitely.
to doing it again.
Yeah, I
For
think for
sure.
me, I agree with Jedi. Because it fell on the same weekend as a mega card for one championship. It was their pay per view. They kind of stole their lands, but for this, I'm not throwing shade in it. I thought the card was good. I thought the fights weren't too bad. I thought Jessica and Natalia definitely stole the show in terms of their fight of the night. And just looking forward to UFC No Chain next week. Very
Yeah,
excited to be covering that card. That's also a banger of a card. So yeah, looking forward to it, gents.
for sure. And as Ross said, we will be back next week to preview UFC 306 Noche. That is O'Malley versus Duvashvili. So yeah, gentlemen, as always, thank you very much once again for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure breaking down
Mhm.
these fights with you guys. And to all of you who have made it this far in the video, thank you very much for the support. It means the world to us. And if you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out a lot. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much from myself,
Yeah.
Brother Gaia, and George Jetson, and of course, the baby Sai. We are out.